Secret of Secrets by Morpheus. www.secretoffsecrets.info. Introduction. The mere existence and rapid evolution of computer science is a sign that the maturity of man is at hand. The universe operates on principles analogous to a vast computer. This could not be discovered until the computer and computer science developed to a certain level. It is as if a highly advanced intelligence designed the universe to withhold its secrets from plain sight until man developed to a certain degree. Computer science is the best analogy we can use for man, God and the universe. Computer terminology supplies us with the best words and concepts to describe the nature, functioning and relationship of man, God and the universe. This analogy will allow us to develop the most powerful programming language to date for the programming of reality. According to the ancient Olmec/Mayan calendar, the winter solstice of 2012 marks the end of one age and the beginning of a new age. The ancient Olmecs developed a highly sophisticated and accurate calendar system, which was not linear, but cyclical, based on cycles. Only in modern times have we developed time reckoning as sophisticated. I personally take very seriously the knowledge of time of the Olmecs because it shows that it was derived from non-conventional mean involving the subconscious mind. I will discuss the incredible powers of the subconscious mind a little later. The ancient Olmecs say that at the time of the winter solstice 2012, the fourth age of man will end and the fifth age will begin. Based on this, I refer to the current age as Matrix 4.0, and the age that will be coming in 2012 as Matrix 5.0. Since many are familiar with the movie The Matrix, I will use it to highlight certain points. This movie contained a great deal of truth and insight despite the few errors it contained. Because of working intensively with computers, programming languages and code, I begin to notice certain analogies to life. It then hit me that the universe/reality is actually a vast computer and operating system. I noticed that not only was I able to apply the concepts of computer science to man, God and the universe, this application opened my mind up to new possibilities I would have never discovered otherwise. These insights then caused me to go back and reflect on certain experience I had, and things I had learned in the past. Applying computer science to man, God, religion, history and the universe, I tapped into my subconscious, God self, and it revealed to me how to put together a programming language that can actually allow a person to program reality. OCCOULIA is the name of this programming language, and the more I worked on it, the more it revealed that this was not coming from my conscious mind but rather from my subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the God within, but I will go deeper into this later. For now, I would like to share the analogies of the computer, man, God and the universe that became evident to me. How this project all began. One spring I was teaching myself PHP code while working on a project. I went into what I refer to as the laboratory mode, which is when I become very focused and passionate about a particular project or objective. It is like what people refer to as the zone. During these times, I become so focused on the project at hand that my friends and associates would not see me for a while and wonder where I have been. I would tell them that when they did not see me for a while, that meant I was in the laboratory inventing some new device, product or service. I would usually start on the new moon and work intensively for 1, sometimes 2 moon cycles, 2 months. During that time, I would work 16 to 20 per day on the project. Often, I would be so deeply focused in my work that I would work through the night until the next day. Even then, I wanted to continue working and had to force myself to sleep. Even when I finally went to sleep, I would dream and have insights and pop up 2 to 3 hours later, and had to force myself to stay in bed in order to get proper rest. In fact, I went into the laboratory in order to put book and website together. While working on a project that involved intensively working with computer code, it somehow made my mind begin to see code in everything. I would sometimes take a break and walk through the park, and I would actually see code in the tree, animals, and insects, even myself. I will never forget this time because it was so intense. That is when I realized the man, nature, and the universe is not just similar to computers and computer programs. I realized that the man and the universe is a computer and computer code. Based on this I made lists of certain correspondences and analogies. I will now discuss these analogies. Room does not permit to go into extreme detail in this book, but I will do so in future books and in articles posted on the website. Computer Science Analogy of Man, God and the Universe. I will begin with some basic definitions and concepts in computer science and show the analogous aspects of man, God and the universe for each term and / or concept. Let us begin with a basic definition of computer. Computer. A computer is a programmable machine designed to sequentially and automatically carry out a sequence of arithmetic or logical operations. The particular sequence of operations can be changed readily, allowing the computer to solve more than one kind of problem. Conventionally, a computer consists of some form of memory for data storage, at least one element that carries out arithmetic and logic operations, and a sequencing and control element that can change the order of operations based on the information that is stored. Peripheral devices allow information to be entered from an external source, and allow the results of operations to be sent out. A computer's processing unit executes series of instructions that make it read, manipulate and then store data. Conditional instructions change the sequence of instructions as a function of the current state of the machine or its environment. Let us break this definition down piece by piece. First off, notice that it says that the computer is a programmable machine. The definition of a machine is, a machine manages power to accomplish a task. Examples include, a mechanical system, a computing system, an electronic system, a molecular machine and a biological machine. Therefore, we see that a biological machine or body is included in the definition of machine. The body manages power to accomplish a wide variety of tasks. Returning to the definition of computer, it says a computer is a programmable machine. Programmable means something that can carry out the commands and instructions of a program. A computer program, also software, or just a program, is a sequence of instructions written to perform a specified task with a computer. The human body is also programmable and carries out the tasks as commanded by certain programs. The same way a computer program instructs a computer what task or activities to perform, humans have certain programs that tell our bodies what to do. Every computer has an operating system, which is a program or series of programs that give the computer its basic functionality. An operating system, OS, is software, consisting of programs and data, that runs on computers, manages computer hardware resources, and provides common services for execution of various application software. Many of a computer's programs run in the background yet control vital functions of the computer. Similarly, there are programs, which run in the background of the human body, yet control vital function of the body. For instance, there is a program, a set of instructions, which tells your heart to beat. Also another program tells your body to breathe. These programs run in the background, you do not consciously tell your heart to beat or your body to breathe. Thus it obvious that the body is not just like a computer, it is literally a computer. The body is a biological computer, or biocomputer. Just like every computer, the human biocomputer has an operating system, which controls the main operations of the body. When you purchase a computer from the store, it comes with the operating system pre-installed. The same way when a child is born, the child comes into the world with their operating system pre-installed. You do not teach the child to breathe, nor do you teach their heart to beat. Our operating system is pre-installed by our DNA. When you bring that computer home with the pre-installed operating system, That same operating system allows you to install new additional program/software that did not come with the computer. With humans, after the child is born and brought home, the child has new programs installed by the parents and others close to the child. Language is an example of a program. We also install programs in the child such as fears, phobias, and behaviors. The most important and long-lasting programs are installed in children in their first 6 years of life. These programs include everything from language to social interactions. Many things that we as adults suffer from often have their roots in programs that were installed in us during these first 6 years of life. Just like with computers, these programs tell us and our bodies have to act or react to others, and our environment. These programs also dictate our abilities and limitations. In computers, you can see these programs running in the background if you press simultaneously the keys, Ctrl, Alt, and Delete. This will open up the Task Manager, which not only shows you what is running in the background, it also shows how much resources that program is consuming while it is running. You can also stop the processes of certain programs. For humans, through meditation, we can access our Task Manager and be able to see what programs are running in the background. The definition of computer also said that, conventionally a computer consists of some form of memory for data storage, at least one element that carries out arithmetic and logic operations, and a sequencing and control element that can change the order of operations based on the information that is stored. The operating system and additional programs installed in a computer are stored in a computer's memory. The memory of the human biocomputer consists of the DNA and the nervous system. The nervous system handles both short-term and long-term memory and ultimately stores long-term memory in DNA. This long-term memory stored in DNA thus can actually be passed down to future generations. This is where ancestral/family memories and tendencies come from. I once heard of an experiment that was done, which I cannot remember the source, which involved crow and the passing down of memory via DNA. A person wore a mask and walked through a park harassing every crow it seen. After a while, whenever he walked through the park, the crows would down and harass him in turn. What was interesting was that even years later, when the crows had babies, when the babies' crows grew, they would also harass him although he never directly harassed these babies. It was as if they inherited this response to this mask from their parents. When he did not wear the mask, the crows left him alone. This shows that memories and programs, response programs, can actually be passed down to future generations. The definition of computer also said that the particular sequence of operations, contained in a program, can be changed readily. Aspects of the operating system and programs of computers can be modified or altered. The same way programs in computers can be installed, modified and uninstalled, programs in humans can also be installed, modified and uninstalled. In our programming language OCCOULIA, we use methods involving hypnosis, suggestion, visualization, NLP, etc. to install, modify and uninstall programs. The human being is truly a programmable machine. Every computer has an operating system, just as every human has one. Well, guess what? So does the universe. Like man, the universe is also a programmable machine. Not only is man a computer, computer, the universe is a computer as well. Let us now make the same comparison as we did for the human biocomputer. Let us recall that the definition of computer said that the computer is a programmable machine. We also observed that a machine manages power to accomplish a task. Examples include a mechanical system, a computing system, an electronic system, a molecular machine and a biological machine. Well, the universe is both a mechanical, electronic system, or rather electrical system, and biological. The mechanical aspects of the universe involving the rotation and revolution of planets and celestial bodies is plainly evident, less evident is the electronic and electrical aspects of the universe. Space does not permit me to go into detail here regarding the new finding regarding the electromagnetic foundation of the universe, but I plan to in future books and on the website. Suffice it to say here that there is really only one force in the universe, not for as we have been taught, and it is electromagnetism. The other so-called forces, gravity, weak nuclear and strong nuclear forces, are really side effects of electromagnetism. Whether you realize it or not, with that one statement I have unified all of the forces, but the significance of this I will have to get into elsewhere. For now let us get back to proving the universe is a computer just like man is. Because the universe is so vast and its operations and functioning are measured in millions of years, I will have to prove this using the following equation. 1. If A equals B, 2. And A equals C, 3. Then B equals C or 1. Man A equals computer B, 2. And man A equals the universe C, 3. Then computer B equals the universe C. Man is the microcosm of the macrocosm as above, so below we have already shown that man is a computer, biocomputer. We will now show that man is an exact scale model of the universe and vice versa. When we look out into space, we are really looking into a cosmic mirror. All of the aspects and functions in man have their analogies in the universe. This is how ancient man learned about and understood the universe. As I said before, the universe is too cast-in scaled to be studied with human eyes, thus we use the science of analogy. An elder once asked me, if you are in a room and you had to measure the ceiling but it was too high, what would you do? The answer of course was you measured the floor under your feet. As above, so below. Through the science of analogy, that which is unreachable comes within grasp. Take for instance take the light of the sun 8 minutes to circulate 93 million miles to the earth. Just happens to be the same amount of time it takes your blood to circulate from your head to your toe. I once tried an experiment where I cut an onion and put it under my feet. It took exactly 8 minutes for the smell to reach my nose. Now with modern telescopes, we are able to observe galaxies from a distance. In observing this galaxies and cluster of galaxies, it actually looks very bioorganic. You can even make out what looks like eyes, nerve fibers, brain tissue, cells, flesh, fetuses, etc. Resembles nerve fibers and brain tissue. Resembles a human cell, resembles a human eye. Resembles flesh and blood, resembles human tissue and flesh. Resembles a human fetus in the womb. The universe even has electrical wires and cables in the form of billion-mile-long strands of plasma that carry electricity through and between galaxies just like the inside of an electronic device. The long strands of plasma are also just like veins and arteries. Plasma twists just like electrical wires in a cable, twisted bare. The same way a computer has antivirus programs and the human body has an antibody/immune program, the universe seems to have an antivirus program as well. Believe it or not, the space shuttle actually activated this antivirus program and filmed it. The shuttle was laying out a 13-mile-long tether cable in space to measure static electricity when the cable suddenly snapped, discharging a great deal of electricity. As soon as it snapped, it was swarmed by hundreds of UFOs which showed up as if to investigate and neutralize whatever caused the disturbance, similar to how white blood cells respond to our immunological threat. To see the video footage, view the video version of this book available free at the tether is the long object surrounded by hundreds of UFOs. View this incredible footage in the video of this book available free. All of this goes to prove the above equation: man equals computer equals the universe. The universe and man all function and are in fact computers or programmable machines. The key thing is that, like computers, both man and what we call reality or the universe is programmable. Man and the universe both have an operating system, which is programmable via an operating language. Based on this fact, I have developed $OCCOULIA, as a programming language which is able to program both man and the universe, reality. What is reality? What we call reality is really a virtual reality created and projected by our minds. This is now seen scientifically in quantum physics. Quantum physics has raised some paradoxical realities, which most scientists would rather not deal with because these paradoxes are totally against everything scientists thought was real. Quantum physics shows that nothing is truly real. In other words, nothing is truly tangible, everything is just waves of energy, but when we as humans observe this field of energy it behaves as physical tangible objects. Quantum physics calls this the observer effect and the wave-particle duality. For instance, light is a wave when you do not observe it, and becomes a particle, photon, when it is observed. If you are in a room alone with a ray of light, when you look at it the light ray becomes a stream of particles, photons, and when you turn you back it becomes a wave. Fundamental to contemporary quantum theory is the notion that there is no phenomenon until it is observed. This effect is known as the observer effect. The implications of the observer effect are profound because, if true, it means that before anything can manifest in the physical universe it must first be observed. Presumably, observation cannot occur without the pre-existence of some sort of consciousness to do the observing. The observer effect clearly implies that the physical universe is the direct result of consciousness. This notion has a striking resemblance to perennial esoteric theory which asserts that all phenomena are the result of the consciousness of a single overlighting creative principle or the mind of God. There is a delicious irony in all this. Contemporary Western scientific theory postulates that human consciousness is solely a result of the workings of a physical brain, yet if the observer effect is correct, the physical matter comprising a brain cannot come into existence until it is the subject of observation by some pre-existing consciousness. Quantum physicists also noticed that in studying subatomic particles, the particles behaved one way in one laboratory and a different way in another laboratory based on the preconceived notions of the scientists studying. This caused some scientists to whether they were studying these particles or actually creating them by observation and expectation. In other words, is the man walking on the beach or is he laying the beach out in front of himself as he walks along? What we call reality is actually a projection of a mutually agreed upon consensus reality. This consensus and reality is actually passed down and inherited by us via our DNA. Only 3 to 5% of our DNA determines our phenotype, hair color, etc. The other 95 to 97% is classified as junk DNA because it was not understood. The so-called junk DNA is the part of the program or code that contains the long-term memories and consensus reality. Thus, we not only inherit our physical traits from our parents, we inherit reality as well. Avatar, it is time that we had a better understanding of what our bodies are, and how does that relate to dreams. Most of us think that we are our physical bodies. When people describe themselves, they usually describe their bodies. In reality, your physical body is just an avatar. You are really a unit of consciousness or awareness inserted into and operating an avatar, just like the movie Avatar. Again, this world which we call the real world is just a virtual reality program that you operate in via your avatar or body. The world or realm you return to when you sleep or upon death is the true reality. Think about it, if the conscious awake world we call reality is the real world, then why can you only stay in this virtual reality game for no more than 24 to 72 hours? After 24 to 72 hours, the true you, consciousness, awareness, must leave here and return to the true real world. You do not have a choice. If you do not return back, your avatar/body will eventually die. It is like playing a virtual reality game in which you put on goggles and gloves in order to operate an avatar within the virtual reality game. Eventually you will have to take the goggles and gloves off and leave that world. It is the serotonin complex of the brain that keeps humans in this artificial reality, When serotonin levels in humans get low, humans get depressed, and no longer want to engage in this world. They no longer want to play this game, and often become suicidal. That is why serotonin-based antidepressants exist, such as Prozac, Ritalin and others. These medications regulate serotonin levels for the person, and if they miss their dosage, the depression returns. If you look into many of the massacres like the one at Columbine, and others, you will see that the perpetrators were on some type of serotonin-based medication. They usually missed their dosage, and once serotonin gets too low, you start looking for ways to check out of this virtual reality, and return home to the true reality. Thus what we call reality is actually a serotonin-induced and maintained hallucination. Serotonin is released by the pineal gland, third eye, the day, and in the evening the pineal gland secretes melatonin. Melatonin induces sleep and the journey back to the source. The pineal in special circumstances secretes another secretion called DMT, dimethyltryptamine, which induces God consciousness, but I will leave that for another discussion on the website. Suffice it to say, this is the reason that this chemical produced by our own brain is actually listed as a Schedule I drug along with heroin, cocaine, etc. The source is sometimes called the subconscious and unconscious. It pervades and actually controls this virtual reality. It is the unified operating system of every person and the universe as well. It is also the source of all things in the physical universe. In the source everyone and everything is unified into one undifferentiated mind or entity we call God. The environment of the source is analogous to the beginning mentioned in the first chapter of the Bible, as well as other religions' creation stories. The reason we do not remember this source from whence our consciousness comes into our avatars, bodies, is because the source is partitioned off from this world by a thin veil called the dream world. The Spirit of God is consciousness, and when consciousness begins to move in this void, it begins creation. Creation is of the realization and manifestation of that which is potential in the source into physical containers, avatars, bodies, etc. What is dreaming and the dream world? Just like Neo in the Matrix, every night you leave the Matrix and return to the source. When you go to sleep, or return to the source, you follow a series of stages involving different brainwave states. The source from whence your consciousness comes into your avatar, body, is the source of your consciousness. Neo going to the source from the movie, The Matrix, the stage when your consciousness is in the source is known as N3, delta sleep or slow wave sleep, SWS. This realm as seen in the above quote from Genesis is even referred to as the deep, as in deep sleep. As your consciousness proceeds to enter into your avatar, you then pass into N2, and REM, rapid eye movements, which is called dreaming. What is really happening is your body is reinserting and reintegrating with your avatar, body, and all of the memories, people, places, experiences stored by you avatar, body, is played and re-experienced as the consciousness reinserts itself into your avatar, body. This is to reacquaint your consciousness with its avatar, body. Every day, when you are waking up, your consciousness has to reacquaint itself via dreaming with your avatar, body, since it is not your truly you, it is merely a vehicle you operate during your day. If you did not dream, you would awaken inside of a container, avatar, body, and not know who you are, where you are at, or what you were within. This is why people feel disoriented when awakened suddenly. They did not have enough time for their consciousness to integrate with their avatars. The source is the beginning mentioned in creation stories, and described as dark and void, and is the source of all creation. In this void and darkness there is only one being or entity, which is called God. The being called God is a singular universal consciousness or mind, and is called the Creator because from within this source or void, it creates what we call the physical universe based on a source code or program which generates the physical universe out of the potential contained in the void. Once again, This is why it was said, notice it says, the earth was without form. This means it existed in this realm, albeit in a potential unformed and unmanifest state. The universal mind in this deep creates a program, called Elohim, plasma, and the Spirit of God moving, plasma currents, on the face of the deep, space, is the running of that program. This Elohim program, plasma, is the creating program for the universe, and is still running and has never stopped. More on this later. The plasma is the beginning of the installation of the operating system running in the universe, man and every living creature. Secret of secrets, is man God? The secret of secrets involves the relationship of man and God. Since there is only one being or entity in this realm, the source, God, the creator, when we return during deep or delta sleep, we meld back into and become one with God, the creator. This unified God is our true identity and what is meant when we say man is God. We are not saying your body/avatar is God, we are saying that which is inserted into and which operates the body/avatar is God. Closely related to the Philonic doctrine of the heavenly Adam is the Adam Kadmon, called also Adam Ilah, that high man, that heavenly man, of the Zohar, whose conception of the original man can be deduced from the following passages. The form of man is the image of everything that is above, in heaven, and below, upon earth, therefore did the holy ancient, God, select it for his own form. 4. As with Philo, the Logos is the original image of man, or the original man, so in the Zohar the heavenly man is the embodiment of all divine manifestations, the Ten Sephirot, the original image of man. The heavenly Adam, stepping forth out of the highest four. http://mastermindcodes.com/thekaba2/ also http://mastermindcodes.com/path of Kaba/original darkness, created the earthly Adam. In other words, the activity of the original essence manifested itself in the creation of man, who at the same time is the image of the heavenly man and of the universe, just as with Plato and Philo the idea of man, as microcosm, embraces the idea of the universe or macrocosm. Operating system. The matrix and consensus reality computers have an operating system, which control and govern the basic operations. The universe of creation, as well as humans also have an operating system, which controls and governs all operations and processes. An operating system is a program, which runs a whole host of programs, some of which are part of the operating system and others, which are third-party, or not part of the operating system. The matrix in computer terms would be the Windows operating system and especially its GUI. Graphic User Interface, qualities. In human terms, the matrix is analogous to what would be called consensus reality. Consensus reality is a GUI based on a set of paradigms, assumptions, expectations and beliefs as to what is real and what are the parameters of that reality, mentally, socially, economically, etc. These paradigms, assumptions, expectations and beliefs combined, function as the Windows-like operating system in humans, the matrix. We want to supplant the current set of paradigms, assumptions, expectations and beliefs, which we call Matrix 4.0, with a new set of paradigms, assumptions, expectations and beliefs we refer to as Matrix 5.0. The desktop equals the stage upon which your life is played out. The operating system is also an interface between you and the actual hardware of the computer. It is the operating system, which determines the look and feel of your computer experience. It creates a GUI, graphic user interface, through which you experience the desktop and the programs which run on your desktop. This is what is referred to as the Matrix in the famous Matrix trilogy of movies. The Matrix is the wool pulled over your eyes. It is via the Windows GUI, graphic user interface, we experience and interact with the hardware, The same way our human operating system is a set of mental programs and perceptions through which we experience life. The operating system in humans is actually a neural interactive virtual reality program through which we interact and experience life. It is programmable through a programming language, construct. What is called the desktop is where all of the computer programs of the computer is accessed and run. Thus, the desktop is analogous to the stage upon which your life unfolds and plays out. Thus, the desktop in human terms is all of the people, places, things and experiences in your life as seen through the eyes of the matrix. The matrix is the consensus reality you have been taught since you were conceived and born. $OCCOULIA, the Matrix 5.0 construct. $OCCOULIA, the construct is analogous to a computer programming language and programming environment. Essentially, when we say, through this programming language we can program reality, the matrix, in such that it manifests our desire or objective. The universe or creation is an outward manifestation on a grand scale of everything that is within us. Therefore, the grand operating system, which operates and controls the universe and all of its hardware and software, is a manifestation of our personal internal operating system on a grand scale. Thus, by programming our internal operating system, we in turn program the outer grand operating system of the universe. The universe's operating system in turn influences and affects your inner operating system, and this goes back and forth in a sort of feedback loop. You can influence and control the outer operating system, universe, via the inner operating system. You program, influence, your internal operating system using the construct. $OCCOULIA is an eightfold construct or set of procedures, which together forms a programming language. This programming language or construct $OCCOULIA gives any person who applies it the ability to uninstall and delete harmful mental and physical programs that you are consciously and unconsciously running in your life. Computer terminal. Create, install and run new programs in your life. Computer terminal. Modify the properties and functioning of your hardware, body and physical surrounding and environment. Control panel. Modify pre-existing pre-installed programs, as well as the characteristics and functioning of the operating system, Windows, the matrix. Change the very nature of your life, and your social-economic reality. Control panel. Part 2, $OCCOULIA, Programming Language for Man and Reality. The loading program from the movie, The Matrix. Declarative programming. A construct is a declarative program. Actually, it is a collection of eight operations forming a programming language, which is interpreted and executed by reality, the matrix. In computer science, declarative programming is a programming paradigm that expresses the logic of a computation without describing its control flow. 1. Many languages applying this style attempt to minimize or eliminate side effects by describing what the program should accomplish, rather than describing how to go about accomplishing it. 5. http://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/declarative_programming 38. The term $OCCOULIA is actually a combination of the eight character of our sigil alphabet seen above in gold. Thus, $OCCOULIA is itself the expression of itself. Sort of a fractal situation, laughing out loud. The eight characters above are used to form all sigils. The $ at the beginning of the word OCCOULIA is the start program command, and the colon at the end is the end program command. Thus $OCCOULIA is a programming language for programming reality in 3 easy steps. Step 1. The first step in creating a program is writing out your desire or objective in a positive, present tense statement. You start the statement off with the start program command, and at the end of your statement, you put the end program command. This is the syntax for writing out a program in the $OCCOULIA. Step 2. Now that you have the program written out, you must then convert it into a sigil. To do this you remove going from left to right all vowels and then all double letters. You will end up with. You then convert the above into a sigil using only the eight characters of the sigil alphabet. Below is an example of a sigil that can be formed from the above program. Example: once the sigil is formed, you placed the final ring or seal around it to complete it. It is now ready for the next step. See if you can find all of the letters in the written program in the sigil above. Step 3. Once you have the original sigil and written statement, you work the statement and sigil through the 7 remaining operations within their unified alpha brainwave field, until your program is run/executed by reality the matrix, and successfully achieved. That is it in a nutshell. It is as simple as 1 2 3. Of course, there are many details, but this is the quick start version. Our construct as a whole is a programming language used to program self and thus creation/universe. By programming yourself, like a computer terminal, you also affect and program creation the universe. The 8 components of $OCCOULIA form an oginode which in ancient Egypt was an 8-fold configuration, see below, consisting of 4 male gods and 4 female goddesses. The feminine tools involve inner work, and the masculine tools involve outer work. The 2 types of energies work together harmoniously to produce the desired results. The desired results are whatever you want it to be. Using the programming language or construct, you will be able to bring about whatever you desire or want by creating and running the necessary program using the construct. If the program is properly created and is run, it will bring about the desired result within a measurable amount of time as the program runs its course. OCCOULIA. The 8 deities were arranged in 4 female-male pairs. The females. Essentially, each pair represents the female and male aspect of one of 4 concepts, namely the primordial waters, Nornet and Nu, air or invisibility, Amunet and Amun, darkness, Korkut and Kuk, and eternity or infinite space, Hor 8 and Ha 1. Together the 4 concepts represent the primal, fundamental state of the beginning. They are what always was. $6 OCCOULIA, 8-fold components: unified alpha brainwave field, mastermind, visualization, divination, creation, audio input, audio output, pen, dramatization, sigilization. 6 http://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/ogdode. Feminine, masculine, mastermind, sigilization, audio input, audio output, divination, pen, creation, visualization, dramatization. The unified alpha brainwave field. The unified alpha brainwave field is one of the key factors that make this new Matrix 5.0 construct so powerful. The basis of the unified alpha brainwave field is a new science called brainwave entrainment. Brainwave entrainment, or brainwave synchronization, is any practice that aims to cause brainwave frequencies to fall into step with a periodic stimulus having a frequency corresponding to the intended brain state, for example, to induce sleep, usually attempted with the use of specialized software. It purportedly depends upon a frequency following response on the assumption that the human brain has a tendency to change its dominant peak frequency towards the frequency of a dominant external stimulus. Such a stimulus is often aural, as in the case of binaural or monaural beats and isochronic tones. 7 http://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/brainwave_entrainment 43. We use isochronic tones because they are the most effective and can be listened to with headphones, without headphones, or through speakers. Isochronic tones are separate pulses of a single tone or sound. Used for brainwave entrainment. Isochronic tones work by emitting sound at regular intervals. This excites the thalamus and causes the brain to duplicate the frequency of the isochronic tones, changing its thought patterns. 8 There are 4 main brainwave categories, which determine our mental state or state of mind. frequency range 1239 Hz 812 Hz 48 Hz 04 Hz name usually associated with active, busy or anxious thinking and active beta concentration, arousal, cognition, and/or paranoia. Relaxation, while awake, pre-sleep and pre-wake alpha drowsiness, REM sleep, dreams. Zen-trained meditation masters produce noticeably more alpha waves during meditation. Theta deep meditation/relaxation, REM sleep delta deep dreamless sleep, loss of body or NS http://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/isochronic_tones44. Within each of these four types of brainwaves, there are sub-frequencies, which have been seen to affect specific aspects of our lives and avatar, body, functions. In our unified alpha brainwave field meditation, we live, broadcast, stream, an alpha isochronic tone mixed with a combination of ambient music, nature sounds, white noise, brown noise, chants, affirmations, etc. This is all designed to create a specific dreamlike alpha brain state conducive to programming the universe in order to manifest your desire or objective. By live broadcasting this alpha meditation, all of our members can participate at the same time in real time. Thus, all of us will be on the same alpha brainwave frequency, which will form a unified mind within this unified alpha field of energy. Thus, if we have 100 members participating at the same time, the strength of the sigil/program we are running will be 100 times stronger. If we have 1,000 members participating, our commands, programs, will be 1,000 times stronger. In time, this unified alpha brainwave field will create a powerful unified mind whose programs, sigils, will be given top priority. The analogy to this top priority can be seen on your computer if you simultaneously press the key, Ctrl, Alt and Delete on your keyboard to open up the Task Manager. When the Task Manager opens, go to the tab that say Processes, right mouse click any process and put the mouse arrow over Set Priority. You will see a number of priority levels listed. The top priority is real time. This is the highest level of priority and the computer will even end other programs is necessary to make sure this real-time priority program continues to run. When we do the unified alpha brainwave field meditation, and we have 10, 100, or 1,000 members all in an alpha brainwave state together, unified and in real time, our programs, sigils, will have real-time priority over all the other programs it is running. In fact, the universal computer may be shocked by the strength of our program and may actually reconfigure itself in order to better execute our programs, will, desire. This type of programming will eventually become common after 2012 in the age of Matrix 5.0. The universe will surely detect our strong desires/programs and realize that we are the first fruits of the coming new age, and adapt itself. We are a distributed operating system. Whenever you have a group of minds resonating at the same brainwave frequency, they generate a greater mind, which functions as if they were one mind. You have a distributed computer system. Distributed operating system is an operating system that manages a group of independent computers and makes them appear to be a single computer is known as a distributed operating system. The development of networked computers that could be linked and communicate with each other, gave rise to distributed computing. Distributed computations are carried out on more than one machine. When computers in a group work in cooperation, they make a distributed system. 9. The 8 components of $OCCOULIA. 1. Sigilization, the science of sigils, a sigil, pl. Sigilia or sigils, from Latin sigillum seal, is a symbol created for a specific magical purpose. A sigil is usually made up of a complex combination of several specific symbols or geometric figures, each with a specific meaning or intent. The term sigil derives from the Latin sigillum, meaning seal, though it may also be related to the Hebrew sigilla meaning word, action, or item of spiritual effect. A sigil may have an abstract, pictorial or semi-abstract form. The current use of the term is derived from Renaissance magic, which was in turn inspired by the magical traditions of antiquity. Sigilization is the first step in translating our desires into the programming language of the operating system. This is the writing out in statement form a desire or something that you want to happen or manifest in the universe at creation. Usually you write it out in the present tense as if it exists now, not in a past or future tense. Once you write it out, you take out all of the vowels and all of the repeated letters. You then combine all of the letters left into a single form called a sigil. This sigil is the equivalent to a program, the activation and subsequent running of which will cause the universe to hear, obey and manifest or make a reality. In our system, the command take a minimum of 21 consecutive days of activating, which is done under the influence of the unified alpha brainwave field using the sigil and the other 7 tools of the construct. After 21 days, you can continue to strengthen it or you can create and run a new program desire. We teach you how to create your own sigil using the 8-character sigil alphabet. The characters in our 8-character sigil alphabet allow for easy conversion into hand sigils for dramatization. We also design custom 3D digital graphic sigil made from almost any material from water, to crystal to gold. A sigilla is an action that is reputed to lead to a change in one's fortunes. For instance, acting as the kvata, the one who brings the baby into the brit milah/circumcision, is purported to be a sigilla for fertility. Or, wearing the jewelry of the bride while she is under the chuppah is said to be a sigilla for finding a husband. There are also special sigillot related to prayer. Reciting the Song of Songs daily for 40 days, or praying at the Western Wall every day for 40 days is reputed to shake the rafters of heaven, increasing the likelihood of a favorable response. 11 The word sigilla might be translated as a spiritual remedy or an auspicious tradition. 2. Masterminding, we encourage communication, exchange of ideas, and mutual support of the members of secretoffsecrets.info via a. Our unified alpha meditation and other live streams for healing, health, wealth, etc. b. Commenting on our blog. C. Participating in our weekly broadcast. D. Communicating with one another via forums and chat. Coming soon. E. Joint projects, ventures and activities following our excerpts from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill on revealing the power of the mastermind. http://www.jewishstreets.org/2009/itsegula.html49. Before you can be sure of your ability to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent, you will require specialized knowledge of the service, merchandise, or profession, which you intend to offer in return for fortune. Perhaps you may need much more specialized knowledge than you have the ability or the inclination to acquire, and if this should be true, you may bridge your weakness through the aid of your mastermind group. 12 Plans are inert and useless, without sufficient power to translate them into action. Gaining power through the Master 1001. The mastermind may be defined as coordination of knowledge and effort, in a spirit of harmony, between two or more people, for the attainment of a definite purpose. No individual may have great power without availing himself of the mastermind. The psychic phase of the mastermind principle is much more abstract, much more difficult to comprehend, because it has reference to the spiritual forces with which the human race, as a whole, is not well acquainted. You may catch a significant suggestion from this statement: no two minds ever come together without, thereby, creating a third, invisible, intangible force which may be likened to a third mind. Keep in mind the fact that there are only two known elements in the whole universe, energy and matter. It is a well-known fact that matter may be broken down into units of molecules, atoms, and electrons. There are units of matter, which may be isolated, separated, and analyzed. Likewise, there are units of energy. The human mind is a form of energy, a part of it being spiritual in nature. When the minds of two people are coordinated in a spirit of harmony, the spiritual units of energy of each mind form an affinity, which constitutes the psychic phase of the master mind. Analyze the record of any man who has accumulated a great fortune, and many of those who have accumulated modest fortunes, and you will find that they have either consciously, or unconsciously employed the mastermind principle. Great power can be accumulated through no other principle. Nature's building blocks are available to man, in the energy involved in thinking. Man's brain may be compared to an electric battery. It absorbs energy from the ether, which permeates every atom of matter, and fills the entire universe. It is a well-known fact that a group of electric batteries will provide more energy than a single battery. It is also a well-known fact that an individual battery will provide energy in proportion to the number and capacity of the cells it contains. The brain functions in a similar fashion. This accounts for the fact that some brains are more efficient than others, and leads to this significant statement: a group of brains coordinated, or connected, in a spirit of harmony, will provide more thought, energy than a single brain, just as a group of electric batteries will provide more energy than a single battery. We have already mentioned Mahatma Gandhi. Perhaps the majority of those who have heard of Gandhi look upon him as merely an eccentric little man, who goes around without formal wearing apparel, and makes trouble for the British government. In reality, Gandhi is not eccentric, but he is the most powerful man now living, estimated by the number of his followers and their faith in their leader. Moreover, he is probably the most powerful man who has ever lived. His power is passive, but it is real. Let us study the method by which he attained his stupendous power. It may be explained in a few words. He came by power through inducing over 200 million people to coordinate, with mind and body, in a spirit of harmony, for a definite purpose. In brief, Gandhi has accomplished a miracle, for it is a miracle when 200 million people can be induced, not forced, to cooperate in a spirit of harmony, for a limitless time. 13. 3. Intoning or audio input, suggestibility and hypnosis. Hypnosis, imbibing, suggestibility, intaking, absorbing, empathy. This involves the listening to suggestions and affirmations while in a hypersuggestive state, either listening to audios or internally generated affirmations. Participating in the unified alpha brainwave meditation will put you in a hypersuggestive state due to the alpha brainwave. You can create your own audio with suggestion to play simultaneously with the unified alpha brainwave meditation, or we can design a custom hypnotic suggestion affirmation audio for you. Hypnosis is a mental state, according to state theory, or imaginative role enactment, according to non-state theory. It is usually induced by a procedure known as a hypnotic induction, which is commonly composed of a long series of preliminary instructions and suggestions. Hypnotic suggestions may be delivered by a hypnotist in the presence of the subject, or may be self-administered, self-suggestion, or autosuggestion. 14. Behavior alteration techniques. Post-hypnotic suggestions are set by a hypnotist and may optionally include a time scope. An altered sense of perception or behavioral pattern may be programmed into the person under hypnosis. Certain sequences of events may be set as triggers to enter or exit the post-hypnotic pattern. The behavior patterns resemble conditioned reflexes, though administered without classical examples. Any number, color, object, etc. may be induced to be ignored by the patient after full consciousness. A certain key word starts the suggestion and a different word ends it. The patient will not know nor use the item to be ignored. He/she may state that the sea is colored red, if suggested to ignore the color blue. A count of 11 may be achieved if asked to count one's fingers if a number, for example, 5, is suggested to be ignored. Thus, the patient counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Different types of behavior patterns may be induced, such as forcing the patient to recite a certain sentence whenever anyone says aloud a special keyword. The patient can be fully aware of the conditioned action, but it is very difficult, if not impossible, to restrain from doing it. Sweating, loss of coordination and full lack of concentration plagues the patient until he/she performs the programmed action. An object may be set to be perceived as invisible, and it will be fully ignored and evaded during the period of suggestion. Experiments may be performed with a coffee mug, induced to be invisible. If the mug is put on top of a page with writing, the patient will only read the parts not covered by the mug. Even though the sentences may make no sense, nothing is seemingly wrong to the suggested. It is difficult to suggest an object be invisible, yet stay tactile. Usually the object is completely ignored by all senses. Thus, the mug in the example will reportedly not exist, even when the patient is touching it. 41 F15-4. Outtoning or audio output vocalization, invocation, affirmation, verbalization, etc. This is the vocalization of your desire in order to evoke and invoke your desire as symbolized by your sigil. Putting your desire out into the ethers using the vibration of your voice. The embedding of your desire in the very vibration of your voice, such that your voice becomes a carrier wave, and the vibration will activate and strengthen your sigil, desire. Below is one possible way to do an invocation, calling and putting on notice the forces, programs, of the universe you program. Hear now, ye worlds, dominions, powers and thrones. Hear now, ye cherubim, ye seraphim, ye angels and ye men. Hear, now, O protoplast, and earth, and plant and beast. Hear, now, ye creeping things of earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear, now, ye winds that blow, ye thunders and ye lightnings of the sky. Hear now, ye spirits of the fire, of water, earth and air. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore will be. I_do hereby come forth and says put your declaratory statement here. 16 An invocation, from the Latin verb invocare, to call on, invoke, to give. The term run is used almost synonymously. A related meaning of both, to run, and, to execute, refers to the specific action of a user starting, or launching or invoking, a program, as in, please run the application. 17. Affirmation is a declaration that something is true. 18 Affirmative prayer is a form of prayer or a metaphysical technique that is focused on a positive outcome rather than a negative situation. For example, a person who is experiencing some form of illness would focus the prayer on the desired state of perfect health and affirm this desired intention, as if already happened, rather than identifying the illness and then asking God for help to eliminate it. 19 Affirmations in New Age and New Thought terminology refer primarily to the practice of positive thinking, fostering a belief that a positive mental attitude supported by affirmations will achieve success in anything. 1. More specifically, an affirmation is a carefully formatted statement that should be repeated to one's self and written down frequently. For an affirmation to be effective, it needs to be present tense, positive, personal and specific. 20 Verbalization, talking to people, even if indirectly, about your sigil or statement of desire/objective also falls under this component. When you talk to other people about your desire/objective, you put it out in the ethers, and more importantly, another human brain begins processing your program. This is what is meant by creating a buzz, vibration of the ethers. When you do it once, all of a sudden you find conversations on the subject matter. In fact, after doing it once, you will actually find it hard not to be in a conversation where the subject matter of your sigil/statement does not come up. 5. Divination or the oracle is your personal method of divinization or tapping into the source, God, in order to make key decisions while in your avatar/body, and while in the matrix itself. A divination system is very personal and everyone should choose a system or combination of systems that work best for themselves. It can be anything from tarot card divination to penny divination. It matters not so much what method you choose, as long as it works for you in terms of being able to tap the source and render you a response, which you can implement. This will be explained to the members in further detail. Divination, from Latin divinare, to foresee, to be inspired by a god, related to divinus. Divine, is the attempt to gain insight into a question or situation by way of a standardized process or ritual. According to classical rabbinical literature, in order for the Rim and Thummim to give an answer, it was first necessary for the individual to stand facing the fully dressed high priest, and vocalize the question briefly and in a simple way. 21 Oracle, in classical antiquity, an oracle was a person or agency considered to be a source of wise counsel or prophetic opinion, predictions or precognition of the future, inspired by the gods. As such, it is a form of divination. Oracles were thought to be portals through which the gods spoke directly to man. 22 I personally use tarot card divination and coin binary divination. We will go deeper into divination systems in the membership area of the website. 6. Pen creations or Tehutic writing and hypersigil, writing about the achievement of your objective in present and past tense, with complete belief, strong emotions and giving thanks for the achieving of your objective at the same. A magic writing is a creative written work that via the medium of its artificial universe changes its creator, its observers, the real world, or other things. Magic writing can also be called hypersigil. The hypersigil develops the sigil concept beyond the static image and incorporates elements such as characterization, drama, and plot. The hypersigil is a sigil extended through the fourth dimension. My own comic book series The Invisibles was a 6-year-long sigil in the form of an occult adventure story which consumed and recreated my life during the period of its composition and execution. The hyper-sigil is an immensely powerful and sometimes dangerous method for actually altering reality in accordance with intent. Results can be remarkable and shocking. 23.7. Visualization. Creative visualization is visualizing for the realization and achievement of your objective with complete belief and strong emotions. We also have a way to use creative visualization techniques to uninstall and modify existing mental/spiritual programs. Visualization is the act of imagining something happening or imagining something as you want it to be. When you use 23 Pop Magic by Grant Morrison from the Disinfo Book of Lies, pg. 20. Brainwave synchronization to take your mind to a very open alpha state, visualization causes your subconscious mind to use its faculties to make your visualization come true. It can also be used to desensitize you to harmful or disturbing memories, programs. Visualization is the most potent way to program your mind. Creative visualization, sports visualization, refers to the practice of seeking to affect the outer world via changing one's thoughts. Creative visualization is the basic technique underlying positive thinking, and is frequently used by athletes to enhance their performance. Creative visualization is the technique of using one's imagination to visualize specific behaviors or events occurring in one's life. Advocates suggest creating a detailed schema of what one desires and then visualizing it over and over again with all of the senses. That is, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What does it smell like? In one of the most well-known studies on creative visualization in sports, Russian scientists compared 4 groups of Olympic athletes in terms of their training schedules. Group 1 equals 100% physical training. Group 2, 75% physical training with 25% mental training. Group 3, 50% physical training with 50% mental training. Group 4, 25% physical training with 75% mental training. Group 4, with 75% of their time devoted to mental training, performed the best. The Soviets had discovered that mental images can act as a prelude to muscular impulses. 28. Dramatization and sigilling. Dramatizing, dancing or acting out your objective, symbols, sigils, writings, and visualizations with complete belief and strong emotions, as well as becoming acting out the person you will be once your dreams are a reality. We convert our sigils, desire, program, into hand sigils. These hand sigils are not only a powerful way to activate your sigil desire, program, but it is a good way to strengthen and reinforce your sigils. Especially during the unified alpha brainwave meditation while in the alpha state, or any time you find yourself in an alpha state or any powerful mental/spiritual state. The hand sigils are even more powerful when repeated repeatedly in a rhythm while dancing. Dancing with hand sigils is a very ancient form of worship as well as magic. Part 3, 2012 is the beginning of Matrix 5.0 and the age of the divine sovereign. Ancient people thought it was the power of the king and/or the priests, but it was really the collective strength of the people being galvanized and/or directed by the king, or priest. The royalty and priests, elites, to this day still perform these mass rituals and galvanize the collective ability of the people to change collective reality, by mass rituals and by establishing in the minds of the people certain paradigms that they create. However, they keep all of this a secret from the masses. The mass rituals and paradigms they create establish and maintain what is called the status quo of the current Matrix 4.0. The current version of the Matrix is based on a handful of elites or sovereigns ruling over a mass of billions of subjects. Since this current version of the Matrix 4.0 is based on an equation of a few sovereigns and a vast number of subjects, they have to keep the subjects ignorant of the fact that the universe is a computer, with an operating system running a program called the Matrix. The difference between Matrix 4.0 and Matrix 5.0 is in Matrix 5.0, everyone will be sovereigns and there will be no subjects. This calls for a new type of construct or programming language and methodology. The current keepers of this knowledge claim that if the ignorant masses knew of their power to hack the Matrix, they would use it for all type of base and perverse desires, and would cause chaos, confusion and destruction. To some degree, they are right, but if everyone knew it, it would be hard to use it to harm another person, because they would have the same power to harm you. As an elder once said, a card game involving 4 card sharks is the fairest game in the world. However, if just one of the 4 were not a card shark, the other 3 card sharks would be tripping over one another to see who could take all the money of the non-card shark first. Thus if this power is to be widespread, everyone must know it. We at secretoffsecrets.info have created a construct designed to make everyone sovereigns. Matrix 4.0, which we are now transitioning out of, which was based on the equation of Matrix 4.0 equals a few sovereigns ruling masses of subjects. In the above equation, you have a few sovereigns ruling over the masses, who are subjects, or subject to these sovereigns. What made these few sovereigns was the fact that they possessed the construct or operating language for Matrix version 4.0 and knew how to work it. What made the subjects subject to these sovereigns was the fact that they did not know the construct. This is because this knowledge was kept hidden from them, and they were given religion and science instead. The sovereigns who possessed the construct became known in later time as the Illuminati, Masons, occultists, etc. Thus, the masses of man were kept in an ignorant and immature state, and were ruled by those who were illuminated as to the existence and operation of the construct, or programming language of Matrix 4.0. As we approach 2012, and the new operating system, Matrix 5.0 is being installed and coming into operation. New physical structures, hardware, is coming into existence, which is altering existing physical structures in the universe by their presence. NASA has discovered a ribbon of plasma, which they say should not be there and which is altering the nature of our solar system. Matrix 5.0 equals all sovereign and no subjects. The Matrix 5.0 operating system is not only installing new drivers, programs, for these new structures, it is reconfiguring and retiring older structures, hardware. This requires a new construct to command the new operating system, Matrix 5.0. The old construct from Matrix 4.0 is losing power over creation/universe, and does not have the language and drivers for the new creation universe that is coming into existence as we approach 2012. Thus, creation/universe is requiring a new paradigm, a new construct $OCCOULIA, and new avatars, humans, to develop and create it. Thus the new social is one in which there will be all sovereigns and no subjects. Matrix 5.0 will be a world where everyone is a sovereign because sovereigns will know the new construct and know how to use it. With this knowledge, every individual will be as gods and will be able to create and bring into existence anything they desire by employing the new construct. In a world where such is the case and everyone is a sovereign or god, a completely new social-economic paradigm and system will be needed. We refer to this system as divine trust. The nature of this system was revealed in October of 2007 during a 3-month vision quest from New York to the border of Utah and Nevada. It involves the organization of a trust, with each person, divine sovereign, as both trustee, beneficiary and trustees of said trust. This is referred to as a divine trust. More on this later. The saviors and first fruits of the upcoming age, Matrix 5.0. At the present time, there are certain individuals who were born with the purpose of uplifting humanity and teaching humanity the new paradigm and construct for the coming Matrix 5.0. By 2012, the new operating system, Matrix 5.0, will be fully installed and operational, and the old operating system, Matrix 4.0, would have been uninstalled and deleted, obsolete. During this process as we approach 2012, there will be much instability and disruption as the old paradigm and construct fail, and is no longer able to maintain creation/universe, and the Matrix, consensus reality. The only ones who will be able to implement order and stability as the new operating system, Matrix 5.0, takes hold are the aforementioned individuals born with this mission. These individuals will be the first fruits, the saviors or neos who will teach the masses and restore balance and equilibrium. They will usher in and be the masters of the new age. The coming age of Emmanuel, the age of God in man realized. Morpheus. To become a member of secretoffsecrets.info or for more information, please go to www.secretsoffsecrets.info.